And we're live. Happy Wednesday, everyone, and welcome to the Mojo Show, your real estate podcast where we talk about everything real estate. I'm your host, Joe Mortgage.
And I'm Cup of Joe Mortgage.
This week's episode, we are continuing our series using social media to grow your brand and business. Whether you're a realtor, a loan officer, or any other type of business that uses social media to help drive potential customers to your business, you're going to want to stay tuned for this. But before we get to that, a little coffee talk with the Joes this morning. Joe, I got to ask you, being that summer is here, right? Actually, today, I don't know if you knew this. I didn't until I woke up this morning. Today is National Hamburg Day.
National what?
Hamburg Day. You know, a hamburger on the grill, right?
Oh, hamburger. You said Hamburg, and it confused me. That's that Michigan accent of yours.
Thank you very much for pointing that out. Yes.
National
Hamburger.
Okay.
Today,
So
National Hamburger Day, May 28th. So tell me something. What is your go-to burger as far as what do you like on your burger?
I like the blue cheeseburger.
Really?
I love the blue cheeseburger. That is my go-to. When we lived in Minnesota, Champs was a place that Tina and I would go. It's a great restaurant, and they had the best blue burger, and it's just blue cheese crumbles on it. It is one of the best with a little bacon on top. You know, you got to have a little bit of pork in there too. Yeah. But what about you, Joe? What is your go-to burger?
I believe it or not, I'm pretty simple with this. I mean, it just lettuce, tomato, give me ketchup and some pickle, and I'm good. Right?
Okay. Now, do you put cheese on?
Yeah, I'd like to have some cheese on there.
Okay.
Either American or Swiss. Doesn't matter.
Now, the question is, what about your daughter? Does she like hamburgers? And how does she take them? Because I want to know if you know this question.
Well, that's a good question. I don't think I know exactly how she likes it.
So, and it's a little different. Your daughter's been in college now for 2 years, right?
Yeah.
So you're not thinking of those things. So my son,
I think it's really just a matter of, as long as I cook it for her, being that she's been at college, home cooked meal she'll just take it the way I give it to her, I think.
I understand that one. Now, my son is the weirdest.
Oh, no.
He has lettuce, onion, nothing else, no cheese, no mustard, no ketchup, no nothing, just lettuce and onion and burger and bun. And that's how he eats it, and he loves it. He doesn't like cheese, and then Anna, she eats it the same way I do. She likes, but she likes to put pickles on hers every once in a while.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you've ever tried this, and I love it because I used to. Have you ever had guacamole on a hamburger? Okay. So a lot of you don't know this, but some of you who are close to me do know. A company I built and owns, I had 4 different brands of guacamole that I made and sold. So having
I still have not tasted this yet, Joe, by the way. I'm just making sure I bring that up to you.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Okay. So having guacamole on a burger. And now we're going off topic, but have you ever had guacamole on a hot dog?
No. I'm from Texas. You put a little mustard on there, sometimes onion. That's about it. You put anything else on it, you put relish and all that stuff, you're not really in Texas.
By the way, our special guest who's in our green room right now, I see her just like choking right now as I said that.
Oh, we'll get her take on this when she comes on. I can't wait to hear her talk about true Texan. She's about to come on.
Oh my! Well, if you don't mind, I would love to get to it because I've been super excited. I've been for a long time wanting to have her on our podcast. She's super special, so I'm super excited to have her on today.
Joe, set the audience up first. We are going to go long today. So just know 9:30 is not going to stop. This is going to be an awesome show. So I'm going to let you do the intro, but let's set everybody up.
You hit it head of the nail. Is that because of how much information she has to share with everyone? We should probably just have her on for like 3 or 4 shows, right? I mean, there's
come on
so
for
much.
I know her.
Well, Glenda is a powerhouse in the mortgage industry with over 15 years experience helping first-time home buyers, veterans, self-employed clients navigate the path to sustainable homeownership. As a top producer, mortgage broker at NXT Mortgage, our very own, and a strategic voice in the DFW market. She's known for her education first approach, which is what I love about her, and the ability to really simplify complex things. She is the mortgage coach. Please welcome to the show, Glenda White, everyone.
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
Good morning, Glenda.
I know you heard us, Glenda. I want some intake first. So first, tell our listeners,
on this.
National Burger Day. How do you
National
take your hamburger?
If it's a Whataburger, it's gonna have your onions, pickles, lettuce, and mustard on there. If it's at home, it's going to be mustard, mayonnaise, lettuce, tomato, and pickle.
There
All
you go.
American.
I told you she's Texan. She just said went Whataburger first, not even just the burger, the spot.
You had to go right straight to Whataburger.
And guacamole, there's no way ever on a hot dog that would happen in Texas. No way. But
have you ever had like a jalapeno bratwurst or something, right? So kind of, I mean, I'm saying hot dog, but you do that and then you get some spicy guacamole on it. I'm telling you, it will change you.
Even my Kevin would say no to that. Absolutely.
Kevin and I would be the same, Glenda. We'd eat the bratwurst in one hand and the chip and guacamole in the other hand. It's not on it. You might be in the mouth at the same time, but it's not on it.
That's 100%. You have two different divisions right there. Absolutely. But I'm so glad y'all had me on. Thank you so much. I love what y'all do. Love what you built. So I can't wait to kind of get started on this for sure.
Well, before we get started, Joe did a great introduction, but tell the viewers a little bit more about you, so that way they can kind of connect and get to know you a little bit.
Well, I don't like to talk about myself, so that's really fun. I know Taylor did the same thing, but yeah, I've been in the industry since 2008. So, lending is nothing crazy. I worked at American Airlines before that. I walked across the street when I was 20. It would be 27 at that time. And I started the back then countrywide branch. So I was the admin and had 500 loan officers that I actually data processed, did the Excel spreadsheet. So that's where that mindset came. And then one day I was like, they make a lot of money on the lending side. So I figured out, never sold a day in my life because I was always on the admin side. And I've been doing the sell side since end of 2008 when the market actually did crash. So yeah, I've been doing that. I got two girls, both in cheer. I've cheered all of my life. I'm a long time, and I say DFW, but I'm Arlingtonite. So born and raised in Arlington. I live 30 minutes outside of Arlington. If I ever walk inside of Arlington, I know someone at some point at any area of Arlington. So we do not live there. But yeah, I also, up until last year, ran a nonprofit cheer and football organization for 500 little football players and cheerleaders. Wow. So it's just a path of giving back and growing and nurturing who their little humans are. Because I grew up in it, and my grandmother actually started it 61 years ago in the city of Arlington.
Oh, wow.
The first cheer program. And so we've been a long time, Arlington, just giving back to the community. What we do on the inside of work, we kind of change it on the outside because we give all of our passion to our kids and our community because we feel that's the greater need. So if I'm not doing mortgages, I am literally in front of some kind of youth sports, helping them just be better humans. And that's what I love to do.
And you just made me feel really inadequate of everything I've done in life. So great job there. It is amazing. 61-year foundation that your grandmother started?
Yeah, my grandmother started in 1964 in the city of Arlington as the first, because there wasn't any place at that time for girls to go be together and connected with the Girl Scouts. And so her and her best friend, Patsy Mead, started a cheer organization. My mom's been president. My aunt's been president. I cheered through the organization. And now I've been president on and off for the past 7 years. And now I'm officially past president this year. So wow, I'm still in it, but yeah. And so it's a fun little organization. It's all community service based, and it's not about cheer and football. And as you know that, Joe, with having a kid in sports, It's about what we teach them off the sidelines and how to be a better human. Some of my best friends are still from that organization, when I cheered back in 94, 95. So we're just trying to teach them how to better themselves so they can take it into their schools and their community and their adulthood.
That's amazing. Great job to you. Great job for putting into the future of our country by, investing in these kids and things like that. So I know today we're going to be talking, and I think a lot of this and your passion of, not only doing mortgages and coaching and training people, but your passion of, just being a better human. Thank you for coming on and thank you for what you do. But social media, I think this is where you're one of the experts when it comes to getting that out there and things like that. But I do have, with the organization that you've ran, and then also in lending, what is some of the things that you're doing that really brings out, the trust of people wanting to be involved in that and also be involved in using you for mortgages? How are you using social media to grow that, both of those?
So that's really fun. It's just about being out there. We talk about connections and conversations. The more we are in front of people, the more clients know, like, and trust us. And so I can take that platform for my football players and cheerleaders and incorporate that into my own social media because I'm involved in the community. And then we just start connecting and having conversations. So the big piece with social media about all of that is if you're in something, a bingo club, and I say that, y'all, there's a bingo club, and I didn't even know that.
There's a bunco club too, by the way.
There's what?
A bunco club?
Yes, always. And I've literally never been a bunco because it's always on a cheer night. So yes, if you find something that you're when I say so passionate about, like you wake up, you breathe, you do everything about that passion, all you're doing is taking it online and then having that kind of a conversation to that type of person. So whenever I'm on social media talking and educating, yes, I'm talking to a client, but I'm also talking to my football player's mom that I just had that connection and that conversation with, and now telling them the story of how I helped them on the sideline, literally on the sideline.
So I'm going to ask a question on that, just because, when I'm older, this, and I'm trying to understand when you say talk to, I want our audience to understand what you're meaning by that too. So can you elaborate on when you're saying talk to, you're not meaning physically talk to a person, you're saying through social media. So can you explain that a little bit, trying to kind of bring it back and, let them know what you mean by that?
Two perspectives, because whenever I'm out on the sidelines, if I'm not in my board shirt, I have a mortgage shirt on me at all times, or my mortgage hat, or something to show I'm in mortgages. So whenever I'm physically having that conversation and now need to tell the next person on social media, I am looking into the camera and it's Nancy with her two kids running around crazy, and I am talking to the camera and having that literally that same conversation. And social media has changed so much even since COVID, when I really dove into it. And y'all, I paid thousands of dollars back in COVID. It's really crazy. But now I don't have to. But now I can just turn my camera on and say, Nancy had this problem. And I'm literally talking her face to face right now. I'm answering her problem. I'm finding her pain point, and I'm solving her problem. So what's the problem, the solution, and the pain point? That is social media in 2025, for sure.
So then the media really that you feel is most effective is video.
Absolutely, 100%. Okay. Because that's going to be an 800% more open rate, discussion rate, conversation rate, because it's the tonality, right? We always talk about at NXT, our tonality on text messages or phone calls. Sometimes they don't quite get it, especially with our millennial home buyers. But if you have a video conversation or a video Zoom or send a video message to say, hey, here's what we just talked about, now they can break it down A, B, C, and D, but they can also stop it, replay it, because they're probably at football games and cheer competitions. They want to get that conversation and that connection, but they're not grasping it because understandably, There's a lot of people with 3 and 4 and 5 kids right now. So we have to incorporate how they feel and how they digest the information. And video is the one way that we can take an offline piece of conversation and just send it to this Nancy so she can replay it at any time with her and her spouse in, around, and where she's at.
And I think that's a great point that you bring up as far as the content to use in a video. You'd said as far as a pain point, right? But whatever industry you're in, whether it's mortgages, real estate, or insurance, or whatever industry you're in, what are the most asked questions or problems that you have to solve, and just do a video on that, right? I mean, there's so many of them that you could list out. And of course, you and I, Glenda, we love ChatGPT to be able to list out as many that we could. I mean, you could come up with 100 of them that, to be able of topics of pain points or issues, problems, frequently asked questions to be able to do videos on.
Yeah. So a good mannerism for that, if some people aren't sure where to get started, is I always tell my real estate agents when I'm coaching them and when we're having these classes, is get a notebook, a small notebook. And it's really crazy, yes, because I still write them down, and start labeling them: buyers, sellers, first-time home buyers, veterans, and literally flip it for whatever page it links up to, and then write that question down. Because and then my brain, again, everybody knows my brain's crazy, I tally them. If I get the same question twice in a week, that is content. Someone else needs to hear that. But it's already broken down. If this veteran wanted to know if they can use their VA twice, well, absolutely, I'm going to do a video on that. Send it to the veteran, send it to every VA real estate agent that I know. So now they have it, and then my client has it as well. But a simple notebook of your niche, buyers and sellers for agents. Insurance could be really crazy as well. What are their asked questions? We understand. Why is premium so high? So if you just start with a simple notebook and write down your questions, you're going to find your own content. And it's not even ChatGPT worthy at that.
Right.
Well, I love that you could do this for any business. One, we didn't do this earlier, and that's on me. So apologize, Joe. We want this interactive. Please drop comments, ask questions. We have Glenda on here. This is a time where she'll give you the advice if you have the question about your business and how social media could work. But kind of going back to what you were saying, Glenda, my nephew is in going through his journeyman to be a plumber and all that stuff. Same thing here for content to get out there for any business. Same thing. If you get that question twice on something simple like a hot water heater or whatever, if you did a video and posted that, one, it's the experience. And I love how that builds trust because you're giving them a solution to other people's problem, but you're not sharing it just with one person. You're putting it out there on the social media to where everybody's seeing it and, that's connected with you. And I love that. When it comes to the posting and the content and stuff like that, and I know this is off topic, and I know Joe warned you about this, I get stuck in that, just scroll through reels and, kind of find something funny and stuff like that. Do you make some of those content? Do you make them into reels? Do you make them into other places to post versus just like me? I just put it on Facebook and it's there. Is there something that you would recommend to business owners or real estate agents or anybody that's trying to grow their business? The different avenues of it, I guess. As
far as platforms, you mean different platforms or?
Well, I'm kind of dumb to this, so I'm going to leave it to the expert to answer that. I mean,
right.
What is the difference between how you can post on a reel, your story, and just put it on Facebook? Kind of explain that, because I know Joe only uses Facebook and MySpace. Back in the
day. He is smaller. Yeah, and look, social media has changed so much. It's where you're comfortable with in 2025. And I had a top Instagram person with my accountability group on Friday. She ended up roasting my Instagram the other day, which is really good. She has over 30,000 followers. It's Jen Herman. She has 2 books for Instagram for Dummies. And she said, basically in a nutshell, social media today is so much different than what it used to be. We used to have to post 7 times on 7 platforms every single day, and it did not matter. Social media today is what platform are your clients on? We have to think about the platforms. We serve 18 to 80-year-olds. Honestly, in lending, we do 18 to 80. We've seen it. So if your 80-year-old is only on Facebook and that's your niche that you serve, don't go try to do all these extra platforms. If you're a millennial, then absolutely you should be on Reels. You should be sending that Reels to your stories and having those conversations, because stories on Facebook and Instagram is where your business comes from. It's not from where you post.
Okay.
On Instagram and Facebook, it's engagement. It's being social. So the head, Adam Mazzari from Instagram, and of course, Zuck, they say on Facebook and Instagram, you have to be social to get engagement. But the other platforms, the reason I like these, one, my kids only go on Facebook, sometimes Instagram stories. That's the only place and of course, Facebook, they go everywhere on that. But on the other platforms, ideologically, it figures out who's on there. Millennials are going to be on TikTok. So I do all the stuff they need to know about buying a home. And then I don't do a lot of engagement, but I put a lot of stuff out there. That same video then goes to Facebook and Instagram, because those two link up. And then it goes to LinkedIn, because that hits a different array of people. Think about who's on LinkedIn. It's 740 plus, it's conventional buyers, it's high net worth clients. So if you're going through that niche person, absolutely you want to be on LinkedIn. I throw it up on Pinterest, and I've gotten 15 leads over the past 4 years on Pinterest, believe it or not. Wow. Yes, that's an unspoken place. But the one that, of course, I love and I will 100% support it all the time is YouTube.
I was wondering
that
when
is not going away. Yeah. We have to think about where that started, but that is also your walking website. It's your walking resource library. When Joe and I were talking about building out the podcast and building out episodes on even YouTube specifically, you now can say, hey, I have a credit client homework for anybody that's under a 580 that needs help with credit. I literally send them a playlist that has 15 videos. But the great thing is when they see 15 credit videos, it opens them up to the other 200 that I have. And it's like, oh, she actually knows what she's talking about. So YouTube is the one that no matter what, and I know it's kind of off subject, 100% of the people should be on YouTube at all times, because short form and long form are being pushed out right and left, because TikTok is the #1 search model. By the way, yes, you can search in TikTok how to buy a home in DFW, but YouTube and Google, because they own each other, they want to become #1 again. So if you're on those platforms pushing your data out, they are going to thank you. They're going to pat you on the back, and they're going to go ahead and push your information out.
Oh, that's awesome.
We do have a comment. I don't know, Joe, if you want to throw this. Well, we've got several.
Yeah, I'll start with the comments here, Joe. We'll start with that. We'll start with Chris. Chris, thank you for listening in. Chris is usually listening every week, so we really appreciate you.
Why don't we just get to the last comment?
Nope. Add beef bacon to any burger. And
beef bacon is awesome, by the way.
I love that idea.
I'll take
this one. This one is why Joe is saying let's not keep sharing. Throw this man in jail because that's a crime 100%. By Josh Reed, which we all love and know him.
Thank you, Josh.
And here's his other comment. It's because the guacamole it has its place. Hot dogs is not the place, Joe. Just saying, everybody, is in agreement. But we do have a true question by Mr. Reed. What is the sweet spot when it comes to the length of video content for business informative content? Do you advise? I never can read his lane themes. So I'm going to let you, and then asking for a friends is what he's saying. So you know who he's asking for.
He's asking for a friend.
He's asking for a friend. I know what kind of friends he's asking for, which is great. So you want to collaborate on both styles. You want to do your long form content. Long form in 2025 is 61 seconds. So understand that. Long form is 1 minute and 1 second, which is insane to think about. But long form on YouTube, the sweet spot is 3 to 5 minutes. because what you're going to do specifically on YouTube is of that 3 to 5 minutes, you can what they call micro clip it. You can take 15-second segments out of that 3 to 5 minute and then push it out on all other 7 platforms. So 3 to 5 minutes on YouTube. The other platforms, it doesn't matter. Yes, you can have themes, you can have funny music, but again, it's 2025. 2025 social media wants you to be authentic and true. They don't care about the trending music and the trending audio anymore because they want you to get the narrative out there. They honestly don't even like, and it's really kind of crazy, they don't even want you to overproduce and over caption. They want you to use their captions specifically inside of Instagram, click a little sticker button, add some fun emojis, and then post it. So because people want the data today, they don't want to wait 2 weeks to get it over edited, basically, and then be so perfect, because clients now see when you're so perfect that you're not truthful. And there's a lot of client conversations and a lot of social media strategists that will tell you, if you're so perfect, then what's wrong in your business? Is there holes in your business because you're so perfect on social media?
Wow.
So unedited, if you say likes, whatever, they would rather have that because that's raw and authentic and that's true. That's the know, like, and trust factor.
Yeah.
I think it is. Well, it's there. You just, for everyone, you're more relatable. Is really what it comes down to.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. I mean, we get these real estate agents, and I love a lot of them, but they do these magazine photo shoots, and that's all you usually see. I would love to see one of those, and you know, I'm not going to say any names, and literally not going to say any names, but there's some of my agents that I really love, but they want that perfect persona look. I would love to see them every once in a while just post a windy day and their hair going all through their face, a little video saying, see, we do photo shoots to look beautiful and perfect, but today wind is messing everything up. We're still showing homes. That authentic would catch my attention more. And I think that's what people miss, is we don't relate to some of these people that, you know, and I think that's why I'm scared of social media, is because everybody was doing it so perfect. Yeah. And that's what was expected. And I think over times, you've seen that in dress codes too. Sorry, a little off topic. But my dad, when he was working, they were in suits every day. And now, I mean, let's be honest. I'm wearing shorts to work.
Please sit down, Joe.
And when lenders are teaching in shorts, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm still in my heels. I get dressed up, and then lenders are teaching in shorts, and I'm like, oh my Lord, like that's your persona, and that's who it is. The great thing with social media is it's only like here up. Right. You can do it in shorts, and no one's gonna know about it.
Well, we got some things to do today around the office, so that's why I was comfortable. But you know, it's just the differences of everything having to be perfect.
Yeah.
And that mindset. But perfection is not a connection.
No, it's not. Done is more perfected at that point.
Yeah. And
go ahead, Joe.
No, go ahead, sir.
Well, I know we've talked about this before in the other episodes of this series. This is all great, and I'm sure everybody that's listening is really grabbing this, but they're still afraid to get on video.
Yeah.
So, Glenda, what would you tell someone that hasn't done it before, right? How do you get over that hump? Because I've got a couple of realtors, I'm not going to say names, but I've got one realtor in mind that she is afraid. I mean, I've had her record a video and it's like, nope, I'm not posting it.
Yeah.
You know, because they see themselves on that video and it's like, nope, I'm not going to. How do you get over that hump?
So one, you never watch your video back. Like, it's unedited, it's raw, you post it, because the way you sound talking to clients, talking to normal human beings is what you're going to sound like when you go online. It's not going to change. And if it is, then there's a, you know, whole imposter syndrome of who you are at that point. How I got started, and I read, it was YouTube for Dummies, YouTube Formula.
You've got so many books back there. I love it.
But I do this because now I can pull it out and send it to people, can have a conversation, and then I just go replenish it. So it's a really great kind of thing. But YouTube Formula was a really great book. But it talks about on video, your avatar. And I am a true proponent. When I say Nancy, y'all, Nancy has got a glass of wine. She's got 2 kids that are bat crap crazy, and her husband's yelling at her because they're cooking dinner. But I have that conversation of Nancy. So I can literally pick up the phone and be like, hey, Nancy, what's going on? Here's how we're going to do this. So for those that are scared, and I know everybody talks about, oh, build an avatar, oh, get a niche. 100% build an avatar, because when you know your avatar of who you talk to, that Nancy becomes everywhere with you. Your Nancy is your phone, and now you know who to talk to, and it's easier. You know the names, you know how they're married, you know what they brown hair, blonde hair, like are they wearing heels, like are they football game, are they running around? Find your so unique category of who your person is, then it's a conversation. Then you're not doing a video. You're having a conversation with Nancy, solving that problem, helping her find that pain point, and helping her get over that hurdle.
It's kind of like Joe. When you were a kid, you had that special friend that you'd always talk to.
Joe still has that friend today, by the way. He just doesn't to talk on video with that friend.
I have a lot of friends in my mind, so don't worry about that, Joe. They all talk to me. Sometimes it just comes out, though. But so, you know, you've talked about a bunch of different things and avenues and stuff like that. You know, how do you find time, you know, to do everything? And how do you stay consistent with it? Because I'm all over the place. Like Joe wants me to do some short videos and things like that, and I just have not put the time into figuring that out. I do my videos. I don't edit it. I send clients videos for information. I do try to post some things. I have not been real well on it or real good at it lately. So what do you recommend there? What can you share with business owners and people trying to grow? Because you just shared a ton of stuff, and we're at 32 minutes, and I know we could go for another 3 hours easily. But what is something that you want to share with them, and how you do all of this and keep in front of it?
So the easiest way, and I know it's going to be a very, very hard concept, and believe it or not, I live by my calendar. My content creation day is Wednesday at 1 o'clock, non-negotiable. It is 1 to 2 o'clock on Wednesdays. And even if I do 1 video, 10 videos, it is in my calendar, because think about our business as like a doctor. If we know something's coming up and we're going to check it off and do our to-do list like we do, it's already in my calendar for today at 1 o'clock. So I know I need to be ready and be prepared. So it is 100% in my calendar every single week as a non-negotiable. I turn my phone off. I do not take calls between 1 and 2 o'clock. I don't look at emails. I content create. That allows me, at sometimes I can do 15 videos. Some I can do 2. Some I can do 20. It's all done. And then I can get it scheduled out and kind of figure out when I want to post it.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. So stay into a system of one day where you shut off everything, do video content. Now, when you do those days that you have a 2-part video or 2 videos that you get through, do you section off some of those videos to add more content? And what I mean by that is, if you have a 3-minute video because you were doing an educational thing, do you split that off into one little topics through that video to kind of use that as content to get them to go back to your full video?
I used to.
Okay.
Now I can talk I know it's very weird. I can talk for 3 to 5 minutes on a video because I just know how, the talking points of the video. If I'm doing a short form, when I first started and it's a genius concept, I would write out the script. I didn't have ChatGPT at the time. I literally wrote out the script and I did 1 line at a time, because 1 line at a time is better than trying to figure out 15 sentences on this 30-second short reel. If you do 1 line at a time, stop, go back, do it again. And then the great thing is we have edit tools that are free now that you can put them all together, and you've got a really fun little short form 30-second videos with 15 lines.
So let me ask this on that note. What are some of the softwares that you use to do all of this stuff?
So CapCut is my saving grace, especially if I'm having fun stuff. I use Filmora for my long form, my edited, because I do use my digital SLR camera for a lot of that stuff. That's all that I use, y'all. I don't, believe it or not, I don't have a lot of extra stuff. I do, of course, Canva if I need any kind of thumbnails that are done, ChatGPT to if I need to find some content. Like I rebuilt my entire YouTube playlist over the next 90 days with talking, like it's intense, y'all. But it's all built out from June, July, and August done.
Wow.
So with those together, I now know like Wednesday today, I already have my 7 pieces of content I'm going to do for the next week because it's going into June. It's all on a calendar. Today I can pull it up. I know exactly what I'm talking about, my 3 topics I'm talking about, and then I can just go from there.
Wow.
So CapCut, Canva, and ChatGPT. That's all.
So your system is calendar. Your system, you use 3 systems to kind of, keep yourself going. I love this. The one thing that everybody needs to understand when they're watching this is these aren't expensive tools that she's using
I use
either.
Google Sheets, y'all. I do free Google Sheets.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and you said a digital camera. One thing with the iPhones now and your cameras on your phones and your video clarity, phones are very easy. Put them on a little tripod, set it up in front of you, and just do it or hold it sometimes if you're not doing it. Just the whole point of this is start doing it more and you'll get more comfortable with it. And then, because Glenda, you didn't use all these cuts and all that stuff when you first started.
No, y'all. My first video was 8 hours. I tried to edit it. Literally, my boss at the time was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm editing a video." And he's like, "How long is it?" Y'all, it was 2 minutes long on YouTube. It's still up, by the way. You always want to keep your very first video. You want to know where you start. It was 8 hours edit for a 2-minute video. And I was like, "Oh, this is disgusting." Like,
8 hours.
Wow.
8 hours for 2 minutes. I was like, it's like you talk about so perfect and it's so god awful. And now like I can do 3-minute video and have it edited like super quickly because I've been doing it for 5 years.
Well, I know, Joe, you went back and watched our first episode. So if anybody wants to get a kick out of that, what is this, episode 58?
I don't have it posted. I do not have it posted.
Well, you should.
I've got it buried
you absolutely should post it because we have to know, just like anything else, we have to know where we start and we have to analyze it. Like, Anthony will always tell us we always have to get better every day. And if we don't know where we started, how do we know what to get better with? So I always say, go back and repost your very first video. It's god awful. I'm not going to lie.
It is.
That was 5 years ago. That was 5 years ago before. Now it's easy peasy for me to do it.
It's bad. I've watched it because I'm trying to get everything up on Spotify podcast, just so everyone knows. I'll let you know, everyone, both of our listeners, as far as when it's actually up there. But I went to upload the very first episode and I watched it. I'm like, nope, this is not going up in public.
Do it.
Episode 2,
do it.
Episode 2, okay, I'll let it go. But episode 1, no, absolutely not. That was horrific. I'll have to send it to you, Joe, if you don't have it. It is just horrific.
Oh, just put it on the YouTube page. We'll figure it out. I'll go on there and watch it.
Well, you can also do this is where we started and this is where we are 59 episodes into it type thing. So you know what your trajectory is.
We still got to get the blooper reel going because
we need another blooper reel. Yeah, definitely.
That's easy.
Real quick, those that are using your cell phone for video.
Yeah.
One of the things that I started using last year, found, and it's free, is a free app that is a teleprompter on your iPhone. Yep. So you can basically just, instead of typing it in, I voice it in, everything that needs to be said, and then it'll read it back slowly as a teleprompter, just going right up your screen. It's awesome. And it's free. It's a free app.
And CapCut will do that. Captions app will do that. Big View does that. There's so many options. Yeah,
there's so many out there. So, and it's free, which we all love, right? When it's free. That way you don't have to memorize, one sentence and then the next sentence and then the next sentence. You can just have it on the teleprompter. So super helpful.
Yep.
Well, Joe, tell our listeners. I mean, I know we're over now, and I've got other things, and I know y'all have other things to do today. But tell them how they can get in touch with Glenda. Because that's one. Thank you for coming on. But let's get them to know how to get in touch with Glenda.
So for Glenda, this is your Instagram handle, right?
Yes, it is.
Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. So anybody that wants to, if you haven't connected with Glenda, please do, so that you can see all of her content and learn from it, everything that she is doing. It's mastery, truly, to be able to see it. So connect up with her, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. What's your YouTube channel, by the way, so everyone knows?
I think it's actually, I mean, you can look it up under my name, Glenda White, the mortgage coach, but it's like Dallas Finance Tips is what it actually is.
And if you are in the DFW area and have questions about getting a mortgage or want to attend one of her classes, because I know, Glenda, you do a lot of classes as well,
Yep.
Live in-person classes and that, you can definitely reach out to Glenda at her Instagram handle there. Next week, we are going to continue our series on using social media to help build your brand. So tune in at our usual time, Wednesday, 9 a.m. Central. Thank you, everyone, for listening in today. We appreciate all the hearts and thumbs ups and the questions and comments. We truly do. If you know of anyone that might glean from any of this information or some of our other podcasts, please go to our YouTube channel, The Mojo Show Real Estate Podcast on YouTube. And while you're there, be sure and hit the subscribe button, because we are on a mission to get to 1,000 subscribers. Of course, every like, comment, and share helps us reach more home buyers just like you. Before we close things out, Joe, any last nuggets of information, wisdom for everyone?
I want to say thank you again, Glenda, for coming on. You've opened my eyes to some of the things that I just need to do different and I need to do better at. So again, appreciate you coming on. If anybody is in the Arlington, Mansfield area and you're looking to go and learn more, Glenda does classes. Go to her Instagram, connect with her. But very, very thankful that you came on today.
Absolutely. I'm so honored to be here. It's always fun to talk to you guys and just do what I love to do and just show that it can happen. And I'm proud of you guys for doing what you're doing week in and week out.
Well, I'm Joe Mortgage, and that handsome guy with the beard is Cup of Joe Mortgage, and we'll see you next week.
Mr.